Hi, introverted extrovert here with a new musing. If you notice, I don't really change outfits because this is all filmed on the same day, split into 3 different videos. Yay. Alright, so my musing today, and I thought I'd share it, is dreams. Dreams. Now, most people are just like, you probably shouldn't believe in your dreams as far as, when you go to sleep and you see those little cute pictures and whatnot. My dreams have actually been very profound. And if they don't make sense at the time, they usually make sense within a few weeks to a few months to, maybe the next day, maybe like years from now, and it'll just show up and I'll be like, oh my god, I just remembered. I had a dream about that the other day, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's not necessarily to say that every single dream that you dream is relevant. Now, if you dreamed that a dinosaur was walking down the street with a snow cone in his hand and he's just like, oh, what's going on? How you doing? ¿Qué pasó? Just eating his little ice cream. No, we're not going to believe that one, because if a dinosaur showed up eating a snow cone, I'm running. And I'm pretty sure he'll start running too, unless you're one of those crazy adventure types that like to do these things. And I say that because some dreams, I've heard an opinion where dreams are actually suppressed thoughts, and thoughts you saw in passing, and things that you've seen during the day that you didn't process just yet, but it finally shows up later, and it shows up when your body's finally relaxed. Now, with that being said, sometimes our dreams can get us into trouble. Now, if you're like me and you've been in serious relationships or just relationships in general, friendships, something like that, and you've dreamed that someone was betraying you somehow, whether it be cheating, going behind your back, talking to another person, talking smack about you, if it's something that you're worried about and it's something that you haven't addressed, it can manifest itself into a dream, and then you'll either end up beating up your the person that you're with, like, I mean, not really beating them up, but like, oh, I had a dream you was with so and so and y'all got ice cream with that dinosaur that was walking down the street. If it's actually plausible, then I would voice your opinion on it, but don't do it when you're in the heat of the moment. And the heat of the moment is when you're super emotional, when you're super in the feeling, because when you're in a feeling and it's super high, you say things and do things that you may regret later and will not be able to take back, because once you do something to somebody, they'll remember it. They'll remember it days, weeks to years from then. Even if, whatever happens, you don't end up speaking to that person, they'll still remember you, and they'll especially remember the bad things. So, with that being said, if it's something like that and there's no just cause, it just comes out of nowhere, tell them about it, but don't dwell on it. Now, if it's something that you feel is kind of, like a premonition, I'd speak about it. I would, because I've had dreams where, one of my most profound dreams, actually, I was younger. I was about, I want to say 10? Almost 11, I want to say that, or somewhere in that stage. I was in middle school, and I dreamed that I was going to camp, and this was a very frequent thing of mine because I did go to camp a lot when I was younger. And I went to the camp, and the boys were separated from the girls, and the boys went to their camp and the girls went to our camp. And so we got to our camp, they're hanging out there, whatever, and mind you, it's not really a camp, it's just like some desolate place with buildings. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, it's cool. I'm thinking it's like Girl Scouts or whatever, because I also did that too. So I'm going and I'm doing my little camp thing. Then we had to evacuate the building. So we're evacuating the building, everyone's freaking out, there's smoke, I don't really see the fire, and there's nothing really serious, we're all just kind of walking out and just doing our own thing. But then I remember we ended up having to walk out to go to the boys, area, but a helicopter ends up crashing into the building itself, and I'm just like, okay, that's weird. But I mean, at that point, everybody was there. Everyone, got out. It was cool, whatever. And then both buildings collapsed. And I'm freaking out. I'm just like, oh my God, something bad's going to happen at camp. I was a very paranoid child. And I'm thinking, something's going to happen at camp. Somebody's going to get injured, blah, blah, blah. I'm all freaking out. I'm like, it's going to be a catastrophe. It's going to be horrible. Whatever. Can't stand this. Tell my mom, and she's just like, do you still want to go to camp? Is that something that will deter you from going? And I ended up going anyway, and nothing happened, and that was fine. I was actually really excited about that because I was pretty apprehensive the entire time. And I mean, I was only there for a week, but it was one of the most stressful weeks of my little life. And then a few months later, 9/11 happened, and I cried because it was one of those dreams where, though I couldn't really do anything and I didn't feel like I had the power, the fact that I said it, it might have either put it into motion or I knew it was happening and I didn't know how to interpret it. And so that's something that's been with me for years now. And I share this because sometimes when we have dreams, and we have dreams that have symbols in them, whether it be like, like a boat or a fish or, like a cat or, some type of animal or very important thing, it may mean something, but it's up to us to interpret how we use those things. Now, I know some people dream about giving birth or someone dying or, something very serious and very sudden that can startle you. And those are things that you have to interpret on your own. And you have to determine whether or not it's enough to say something. And especially if it's about somebody that you know, it might be best to share it with them, especially if it's something that scares you or bothers you. But once you've said it, or once you've written it down, think on it, study it, and then let it go. I'm only saying that so that you won't harbor it and you won't cause unnecessary stress or fear or, throw off your day any type of way, because those type of situations and those type of dreams, they mean something, but only if you allow them to keep bothering you will they become something serious. And I couldn't do anything about that dream. I didn't know anything. Nobody knew anything until the day. And it's something that I've decided that, I dreamt about it. It happened. I couldn't do anything else. And I've thus since let it go. But every time that I have a dream that kind of stands out or makes me want to think on it, then I investigate it further. Actually, the other day I had a dream. I had a baby, and it was a beautiful little girl. She was so gorgeous, and she smiled at me. She didn't have a name, but she was just the most adorable little chubby bubbles in the world. And I'm just holding her. She's giggling at me. I'm giggling back. We're having a great time. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, I had a baby. It's so pretty. But, I'm not pregnant, and I won't be for like years or maybe ever. Who knows? Kids is another topic. I'll talk about that sometime later. But I don't know. I just wanted to share my thought on dreams, because in the end, it's your own. And again, you choose how you want to use it, and how you use it determines maybe nothing, maybe everything. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. And if you have something else you might want to say on that, then feel free to share, again, comments, opinions, anything you want me to speak on. Share it with me. I'm always here. See you later. Bye.